All right, everyone, we are at the Renton Municipal Airport. Why, you may ask yourselves? 70% of the world is covered in water. Today, we're gonna land on it. Yeah, so we're doing checkout in a seaplane. And by checkout, I mean, we're just gonna go fly it. I'm not gonna get checked out. He's just gonna bring me up as a guest to show us the joy of being able to land an airplane on the water.
Perfect.
All right.
So the basic anatomy of a float plane is a land airplane. This can be put on land, and your gearboxes are right there that's where the main landing gear would be, and you would have a place where you'd put the main.
You're talking here. There?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you would also have a nose wheel on this. This is not a tail wheel airplane. It'd be a tricycle gear aircraft. So these are Edo floats, and the basic design allows for 4 compartments. We have 8 compartments that are watertight. 4 of them can be flooded, and the airplane would still float. These are Edo 2440s. 2440 means the amount of weight that the aircraft will displace, or the float will displace in fresh water. You got the bow of the float. We got the chine. We've got the keel, the sister keel, which you can't see right here is the sister keel. All part of the design of the float to get it off the water. So it's more getting off the water. Landing it is the biggest issue. If you look at old Boeing, when Bill Boeing built a float plane, he had the entire float was in the water, and it was difficult to get it out of the water. So they designed it so that the step, which is what we'll talk about when we get airborne, this is considered the step of the float plane right here. And then you've got the skeg in the back. This is the skeg. This is the step. The step is where we'll be for most of the takeoff portion, and the landing portion. We'll be right there on the step. So here's our pump for pumping out the floats, and we'll pump the floats out when we get back. They've already been pumped out, and we're ready to go there. Just ropes to be able to help secure the airplane. We got cleats on the front and the stern of the float. Water rudders, these are what will retract and extend when we're on the water. So we take off and land with them up. So kind of like landing gear, kind of one of those centerline checks. It's really not that bad of a deal if you take off with them down, but it's a bad deal if you land with them, you land with them down. So anyway, that's one of the hazards of float plane flying.
Do some floats have landing gear built in? So some
they
you can do.
That would be an amphibious float.
Okay.
There's an amphibious float right there. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of versatility that comes with an amphibious float. So everything else on the airplane is pretty much the same as what you'd expect in a Cessna 172 XB. So it's got the Continental 190 horse engine. We got a 210 horse STC to get it airborne a little bit quicker. 2-bladed prop. It's a very loud airplane. So anyway, that's the basic anatomy of what we're looking at on the outside here.
Love it. All right.
Ready to go?
Ready. So you're going to back into the water.
I'm going to let it down, and then I'm going to set it down.
Okay.
You're going to grab the 2 ropes that I showed you, and you're going to hold on to those ropes.
Okay.
Keep the airplane from hitting the dock, and then I'll back the truck up. I'll grab a hold of that front strutter spar, and I'll push the airplane a little bit deeper into the water.
Okay.
And then I just need you to hold the airplane.
What if I bend it?
You're not going to bend it.
Who has to pay for this if I bend it? Okay, here we go. All right.
Don't step on the wet wood.
Don't step on the wet wood, he says. So is the plan just to like walk this over?
All right, sir. So we're going to do a real quick run up here on this, and there's a checklist right over there.
Okay.
Flight controls are checked. The flight instruments. are. So, are you all set? Copy?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it, Captain. So we're going to take off this way?
Yeah. Winds are coming from that direction, a
Okay.
little bit of a crosswind, so. Red Tower Floatplane, 758 November, Foxtrot's on the water. East side of center line, Washington 1, East Channel.
Floatplane, standby, November Foxtrot, Renton Tower, man on the water, traffic approaching left base, Cessna, standby.
Okay, we're standby.
Turn over now, short final shouldn't be a factor, Washington, East departure approved, winds 1907, Port Airport.
Okay, we'll call you airborne, traffic inside 8 November Fox. Okay, since I got a little bit of crosswind, keeping the water rudders down for just a second here, getting up, and if you look at the spray on the rails on the chine, it'll stop. See how it stopped? So it's not going to go back any further. So what we're going to do, we're going to start lowering the nose. And we're having to push forward. And now we're transitioning from the plow up to the step. And now we're on the step. And you can feel the airplane accelerating.
Yeah.
And I am just letting it fly off the airplane, or fly off the water, and...
Cessna 44 kilo, right turn Alpha 3.
We're airborne.
There we go.
Right on Alpha 3, contact ground, 44 kilo.
8 November Fox is airborne.
Floatplane 8 November Foxtrot, roger, thank you.
Wow, flying in the northwest in the fall time. Actually,
Nothing prettier.
the weather up here is a lot better than what it looked like when you're down on the water.
Yeah, it's
there.
coming in from the south, so you're clear of the airspace. This is the I-90 floating bridge coming up here.
Yep.
So.
When was your first solo?
It was June of 1999. I can't remember the exact date.
June
My
of
first
99.
flight lesson was March 29, 1989. And it was June of 1989 that I soloed in 704 Golf Charlie
Where at?
out of Renton.
Oh, really? Wow. So you've been flying out of Renton for 35 years ish? Yeah.
Yeah, now that's where the Boeing 737's built, and that's where my career is gonna
end.
final. Is
Yeah.
flying the Boeing 737. So fly out on the bay here.
Yeah. Is this where they have the locks here? Is this where the locks are?
I'll show you the locks. So just go out, loop around, come back here.
Yeah.
We can just do some splash and goes here in Lake Washington on the north end, and then head back to Renton.
Yeah.
So
if you didn't have floats right now, you'd be thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to put this thing in the water if I have a power failure, or I'm gonna have to land on Interstate 90. There's more landing spots than there are not landing spots.
you can pick a field and put this thing down in. If it's a nice grass golf course even,
yeah,
it wouldn't be a problem. I feel much safer in a floatplane than I do for a land plane for sure.
Yeah. Did you solo in a Cessna 152?
150.
150.
Got my private in a 172. American Eagle.
Oh, you were? Out of where?
My last year was Dallas.
Okay. Did you get hired on the 737?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Seattle.
Wow.
That would have been in 1999.
Okay.
June of 99.
We just celebrated 25 years with the airline. Congratulations. This is some pretty spectacular flying coming out over the Space Needle.
Lake Union.
Okay.
Downtown Seattle. You see how the water is smooth right there?
Yeah.
That means the wind is coming over that shore, blowing up here. See how the water is rougher up in that area?
Yep.
That means there's wind going up against the shoreline there. So
you know the wind's blowing this way?
Correct.
Out of the southwest?
So what I'm doing is I'm coming around, landing into the wind.
Right.
So.
And so do you land at power to idle, or do you carry some power in?
I carry power in.
Yeah.
There's final, props full forward. And we're just setting up.
Yep.
We want to get a positive nose up attitude, right?
Okay.
Obviously. You don't want to be landing nose low on this thing. So that's about right there. See that attitude right there? As soon as it touches down, it wants to roll over on you because that friction is increasing. But we don't do that. You pull it back on the nose.
Okay.
So, not letting it roll over.
Yeah.
Take off. Good. Okay. Try to take off here.
So
you're going to try to take off. So this thing's going to take a lot of right rudder. Yeah. Okay. To keep it with the left turning tendencies of this.
We're just going into the wind.
We've got our flaps set up here for 20 degrees, and we're going to go straight ahead. So nice and smooth on the power application. So keep adding power, nice and smooth, holding the elevator all the way back. Nose is coming up, full power, and the second bump in the nose. Now the spray is stopped. Yeah. And now we're going to slowly start pushing the nose over. Just like that, not too quickly. Otherwise we get some porpoising. Okay. Keep going over a little bit more. Right there, and the airplane's going to fly off. Just hold that out there. You're airborne. Like that.
Traffic's off our.
Okay, let's land straight ahead, and I got the traffic. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm bringing you down a little bit closer to that traffic. He's turned away from us.
Yep.
Now, I got the power here, Brendan. And we're going to transition up to a positive nose-up attitude and use the rudder to keep the airplane going straight. So, just like that. Keep pulling back on the nose. That's good. Just maintain that nose attitude right there. Don't bring it up. Okay. There you go, right there. Like that.
And just keep on pulling it back further?
Yep. So, simultaneously, I landed, pulled the power back. You're landing on glassy water. You don't get any of that, but glassy water is probably the most dangerous water surface to land on of all the surfaces that we land on because it's a mirror. Right. You have no depth perception. So how we do that is we set the airplane up at about treetop level for a glassy water, and we just have that positive nose-up attitude, and we just maintain that, and we don't flare. We just let the airplane come down and touch down on the water. When it touches down on glassy water, it just sucks those floats down, so you got to be really careful about letting it roll over.
Takeoff. What is like your minimum distance, like your minimum lake size? This thing obviously stops fairly quick, but it's just going, right?
It's getting out is your challenge. Just like in a land airplane. You can get into a lot of places, but you may not get out. Right. So, minimum distances, I go up to Lake Hancock, Lake Callaghan. Those are some small lakes that are, maybe a mile long. Okay. Mile and a half. Yeah. So I can get in and out of Green Lake too.
6,000 foot long strip. That's like Burbank. So like a Burbank for you. Okay.
My wife retired 5 years ago. So got a new motorhome. Take off. See the country. Go out on my terms. Looking at all those guys on final.
Looking at all those guys on final. Looking over at the seaplane, thinking, man, I'd love to be up in a seaplane right now. Yeah, this is spectacular.
Out of the way, bird. Yep, I don't have my pulse flashlights.
Renton Tower, 87, Foxtrot. Make sure runway 16 ready for takeoff. 87, Foxtrot, Renton Tower. Hold short, runway 16, awaiting IFR release.
Well, dude, that was a lot of fun.
Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you for taking us along.